Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a little wrap up of the kids review titles that I received and read in the last month. This is my little pile. Some of these have already been shared on Kidlit Joy, some of them are being shared this week and in the coming days. This is book mail from two different publishers. So the first publisher is Scribble Kids, and they sent me My Name is Jemima by Olivia, Muscat and Alison Colpoys. This review has been up on Kidlit Joy for a little while. This book is absolutely stunning. Anytime I get a book from Scribble, I am just absolutely floored because they have a very distinctive children's book publishing style. They use a lot of fluoro. It is always very beautifully illustrated in a really cool style. And this book in particular is really important because it looks at the job of a guide dog. Olivia Muscat has a guide dog called Jemima. They are a mobility team, and she has written this book to help people understand the important work that guide dogs do and how to interact with them in public. And it's a really beautiful, gentle introduction for kids. So we get to meet Jemima, we get to know, that she's a dog, she loves all the same things that regular dogs do, but when she's working, when she's wearing her harness, she's actually doing a job out in the world, and her job is to help her owner move through the world in a safe way. And that there are things that people can and shouldn't do when they're interacting with her, because if Jemima is distracted, then that is unsafe for her partner. And it's just beautifully told. Alison Colpoys' illustrations are gorgeous, and Scribble even sent me this gorgeous print. All of these illustrations are of Jemima throughout the book. The other thing that I really loved about this book is that Scribble does include a QR code where you can go to the website and you can hear Olivia reading the story as an audiobook. And as you know, it's a kid's book, so it also has the chimes for when to turn the page. But she also includes the image descriptions for each page as well, which again, very important. Absolutely stunning book, loved it. The rest of the books are from Alan and Unwin, who are always very kind and generous when sending me things each month. I'm very, very grateful to them. So the first book is Shmoof by Heidi McKinnon, and this one I was so excited when I saw it was being released because a few years ago they released a book called Floof, which was about a cat, and Floof was a very naughty cat. This is Shmoof, and Shmoof is the new dog in Floof's house. And Floof, not so happy about it. So Floof does feature in here. This is Floof, and it is about how these two, well, Shmoof wants to be Floof's friend, but Floof is kind of disdainful initially. And then they find something in common, or more specifically, they find that they dislike something in common, and that brings them together. This book is fun because it plays with language in such a beautiful way, and it's just fun to read out loud because the blurb says, Shmoof is schmoofy, Shmoof is super schmoofy, Shmoof is ready to be best friends. But Floof is not so sure. It's so fun to read out loud. Honestly, it is just a gorgeous, fun little story, and I absolutely adored it. Like, perfect for anyone who has pets and loves cats and dogs and the antics that they get up to. Then there is Who Might You Be? A Tale in Tangrams by Henderson. This one I was really interested in seeing because I'm always on the lookout for picture books that are really helpful for maths, because having a mental text for maths is really important. And in this case, this is a book all about tangrams, which is really cool. The end papers are amazing with their geometric pattern, which is all tangram shapes. And at the start, it goes through what a tangram is, how the pieces work, and the entire story is the tangram being able to move from being one thing from one day to another thing the next day. So it is a beautiful creative story about how we can use shapes to create images, but it also is a great way to just explore shape in and of itself and how we use shapes. It has a really wonderful message about being able to be different things on different days, and that it's okay, and that you can be anything that you want to be, all through this really cool concept. So I really loved it. I really want to take it into school and do something like a maths related themed craft activity with the kids, which is something that I do on Fridays. I have this thing about Fun Friday. I don't like it to be free for all. I like it to be sort of text-based, sort of something interesting. And I think this would be a really good one to do because I've got quite a few kids who really enjoy maths but love making things. So this will be fun. Then I was so excited to see this book because it is by an author who I have loved for years and years. It is The Enchantment of Golden Eagle by Margaret Wilde and Stephen Michael King. This book is just stunning. I don't know if you can see it, but there is sort of glitter on the front cover. This is the story of Ella and her little brother Leaf, who find a bird with a broken wing. They take the bird home, they look after it, they care for it, and over time the bird grows and becomes this gorgeous, big golden eagle. And there is a really strong relationship between these children, their father and this eagle. And one day the children's father goes out and the eagle promises to stay and look after the children, but the eagle is drawn by the currents and flies off, leaving the children alone, which prompts a little bit of resentment and anger and things like that. And it's about how all of these characters end up coming back together. And it really deals with how, okay, sometimes promises might be broken, but how can we work up our way back to forgiveness, to love, especially when we truly care about the people and the thing and the animals in our lives. Like, it is really stunning. It has Stephen Michael King's gorgeous illustrations. He has a very specific illustrative style that I just adore. It's very whimsical and stunning, and I just absolutely adored reading this because it's Margaret Wilde. All right, and then I received the next installment in the Wolf Girl series, which is a middle fiction serial by Ando. This is Wolf Girl 13. It is new friends, in this case Gwen and all of the dogs in her pack. At the very end of the last book, they were seen falling from a cliff into the ocean, and in this case there are some new people who find them and help rescue them. It is a pair of siblings who have a connection to sea creatures, specifically dolphins, and everyone in this little ragtag group has lost someone to the government regime that has taken over in this world. We're 13 books in, it's kind of hard to describe it without going all the way back to the beginning, and it's been a while since I was right back at the beginning of this story, 13 books in. But essentially Gwen has spent this series trying to find her family. She has discovered where her sister is, and her sister is in a very unlikely place. But in this book, she is able to reconnect with one of her parents, which is a huge, huge thing for her because she hasn't seen them in such a long time. Again, there's lots of interactions with the villains of the piece, as well as lots of new side characters that we meet in the towns where these characters are moving through. So another really fast-paced installment in the series, and we're slowly getting a little bit more information, hopefully sort of nearing some answers for Gwen. Last but not least is a young adult book, and this is a YA Torres Strait Islander story. So this is Moonlight and Dust by Jasmin McGaughey, I think. I'm sorry if I McGaughey? I should have looked that up beforehand. Anyway, this is the story of Zilla, whose older sister ends up in a coma after a party accident goes wrong. And Zilla has been staying away at a boarding school, and she has decided that for her last year of school, she wants to come back to her hometown, go to the local government school, and be close to family. She's Torres Strait Islander, she misses her family, she wants that connection, and she wants to be close to her sister in her final years of school. What Zilla discovers is that her sister has kind of become quite rebellious and was possibly in with a crowd of kids who were into some weird, strange things that Zilla is not aware of. But when she starts school, she starts to befriend some of her sister's friends and is inducted into kind of a secret club that the kids in the year level are all part of, and it's all to do with parties. And when she comes to one of these parties, somehow she is sworn to secrecy and she can't actually talk about anything to do with these parties, and she doesn't quite know why that is until she gets to the first party, and she discovers that people are taking this kind of elixir like substance that gives them magical or supernatural abilities like telekinesis, like being able to climb up walls or being resistant to fire and flame, and it's called moondust. And the people and the friends that she's getting to know seem to be at the center of all of this. Some of them are controlling the substance, others are trying to utilize the substance to help in the local community. But what Zilla begins to notice is that everyone who is taking moondust is beginning to lose memories or lose time, and they're not sure why. She also begins to suspect that moondust is the reason why her sister is in the hospital. So it is Zilla unraveling what is going on, trying to get to the bottom of who is behind moondust because no one knows who is creating it, and the effects that it has on the people around her. It was a really interesting, fun read. I believe this is potentially a debut author. So Jasmin is a debut author. I've said this before, I just love that we have more Torres Strait Islander rep coming out in books in both middle fiction and young adult titles. So I'm really glad that I read this one. So those are all the kids' review titles that were sent to me this month. Thank you very much to the publishers for them. I had a really great time exploring all of them. They're all really different and really interesting to read, which I love. I love having different things to try. I will leave a list of all of these titles down below, so if you want to find out more information, you can. Otherwise, feel free to leave me a moon emoji to let me know that you're here. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.